So good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, and even for some folks, it might even be good night, depending on where you are in the world watching today's presentation. My name's Richard Duffy. I am the Enterprise General Manager for Asia Pacific and Japan. I'm also the Product Evangelist, and I'd like to welcome you to today's session. And what we're going to be focusing on in today's session is the new features that are part of our June release for Enterprise. Now, if you haven't been to one of our webinars before, if you haven't heard us talk about how we do product development at Enterprise, it's probably not a bad starting point for me to quickly touch on that for you, just so you understand why we are having this release, this June release, and so you understand how release cycles work with Enterprise. In Enterprise, we use a development methodology which is known as Lean. And the idea behind Lean is that you work with small sections of functionality and you have what is called a sprint. So our development team, together with the product management team, decide on what functionality is going to be added to the product. We set a period of time that we're going to work on that, and we say when we're going to want to release that functionality. And we normally do a release every month. So we will decide, okay, in the next month's release, we're going to work on this function, and this function, and then the guys will work on developing that. Then we'll have a a period of testing, and then we release that functionality. And we try and do that, as I said, on a monthly basis. Now, with Enterprise, as you know, we have the web apps, and then we also have the mobile apps. So what you'll see is those things happen at different stages during the month. And the reason for that is we have total control over the web app and when we make that available. However, when it comes to the mobile apps, we also have to work with the vendors and the owners of those platforms. So of course with Google, you've got the Google Play Store, and with Apple, you've got the Apple App Store. So we have to work with them. So it's not just necessarily a case of us having the functionality ready, but it's actually going through the processes of getting the new builds and everything like that launched up onto those app stores. So there's a couple of things, and that's why what I'm going to be showing you today in the June release, I'm going to be showing you what we've done with the web app, and then I'm also going to talk about what we've got coming up with the mobile apps and how these new features in the web app will then roll out to the mobile apps. But the important thing to bear in mind is that Enterprise is a constantly growing and a constantly I was going to use the word changing, but changing potentially sometimes indicates, things can go backwards, and that's definitely not our plan. But it's a constantly growing a solution that's being enhanced. I was just trying to think of the right way to put it. So the solution is constantly being enhanced, and what we're doing is as we get more and more customers, we start to get more and more feedback about what people want. Because we use that lean product development methodology, that means that oftentimes we can respond very, very quickly to those specific requests for functionality. And of course, if you're a partner and you're listening into today's session, the thing to bear in mind as well is if you have a customer who's asking for some functionality and it's a fairly significant size opportunity, that customer is fairly significant for you, please feel free to reach out to me or one of our team. Some of you will be working with different members of the Enterprise channel management team. Reach out to your channel manager and have a conversation with them. Tell us about the opportunity, tell us what the requirement is, and then we'll see what we can do to get that in there. But that kind of summarizes all of that for you, and hopefully that's fairly clear and you now understand how we do our development. So again, remember, the product roadmap is your friend. That's what you need to refer back to. If you don't have a copy of the latest product roadmap, please feel free to reach out to me or again any one of our Enterprise team. We'll be more than happy to share that with you. I think we've got a new version coming up. Just so you know, every 2 weeks we do what's called a sprint review. So as a team inside Enterprise, we all sit down and the guys in development show us what they've achieved. We talk with product management about what's coming in the next releases. We all agree that that's the right thing to do. So we have that coming up this Friday. Again, one of the things that we'll be looking at is releasing an updated version of the product roadmap after that sprint review. Okay, so bear in mind, we're a cloud solution. One of the advantages of cloud is these things move very quickly, and they happen with almost no interruption to you. Give you an example. You might be aware that SAP Business One 9.2 patch level 8 was released 2 weeks ago. All right, so we've done some work, for example, with the Indian localization, with the US localization. Some new functionalities has come into the Indian localization in patch level 7 and patch level 8 to cope with the new GST capabilities or the new GST requirement in the Indian tax jurisdiction. So, you know, we have been working away in the background and we've automatically adapted. Well, not automatically, we've had to do some work to make it happen, but we've been working in the background and automatically adapted to that. Do you see anything? Do you need to take any steps to take advantage of that? Usually you don't. All right, if you do, maybe the enterprise data service may need updating, but normally what happens with the enterprise data service, it uses a configuration file, and every time your system connects, the enterprise data service will go and it will retrieve the latest configuration file and will pull down any of those necessary changes. So it should be fairly transparent to you. You shouldn't need to go and reinstall the enterprise data service unless we tell you to. All right, so bear that in mind. And for those of you who can't remember what I'm talking about there, you'll see here if I click on the settings button in my enterprise and you go here into integration, you'll see this is where we have the enterprise data service. So you see you've got this option already connected, keep your EDS up to date. So again, remember at any point in time, if you're not 100% sure, you can go in and you can just go and download and reinstall the enterprise data service, and you can reinstall it and it will just install straight over the top of your existing implementation. Okay, so very, very important to remember. But normally you shouldn't have to do that unless we tell you to. Now, one other quick point while I'm on here, remember if you do have any support questions, feel free to reach out to support@enterpryze.com. Even if you're not sure what you should be doing or if there's a change that's needed, then reach out to the support team or your channel manager. We'll be more than happy to help you with that. So, having said all of that, let's now dive in. I'm going to take you through the two major things that are new in the June release of Enterprise. And these are two areas that have been requested by many, many partners. Why has it been requested? Because customers want it. And so you as partners and customers ask us for the functionality, and we're very, very happy to deliver. So the first of those is the ability for you during the sales and quoting process to be able to have visibility over your stock levels. So you'll know in Enterprise you have the capability to create quotes, and you have the capability to take those quotes and turn them into orders, or of course you can go straight in and create an order. So now what's one of the questions that customers usually ask when they are placing an order? They want to know, do you have the available stock? So we now have that capability. Let's go in and let's take a look at that functionality for you. So we'll go in here and we'll create a new sales order. So you can see I'll go in and I start typing the customer name, and I'll pick Earthshaker Corporation. I'm talking to Bob McKensley. He wants this shipped to their ship to address and billing to the bill to address. I am the salesperson, so of course I can select that salesperson from the salesperson drop-down list, and then of course I can specify my delivery date. And I've decided that not only does he want it, is he placing the order today, but he actually wants the order delivered tomorrow. So I'm putting that information in. So now when I go and add my items, when I'm looking at my product, you'll see that what we have now is the ability to select the warehouse. So we support multiple warehouses. So you can now select the warehouse, and in the drop-down list, you'll see all of the warehouses that this product exists in SAP Business One, because remember, this all comes directly from SAP Business One, and you can see the quantity available. Okay, the quantity available in that warehouse. So for my JB Office Print 1111s, in my general warehouse, I have 725. In my West Coast warehouse, I have 50. So as soon as I select that warehouse, you get that shown to you again here in bold, so it's nice and clear. You can see exactly what's going on, and then of course you can go and then add your next line. So you can go in, pick another product. Here's my B10,000 label printers, Again, you have to specify to look at the warehouses, because when you do have multiple warehouses switched on, obviously the stock is warehouse specific. I've got 500 in the general warehouse, so again, I can go in here and they want one of those. I'm good to go. I then hit my save key, and again, as you will know, the system will go and generate my order confirmation. It'll send that out to, in this case, Bob McKensley at Earthshaker, and of course, it's then going to push that sales transaction across into SAP Business One. So now, the next thing I want to show you is the capability for you to work with user-defined fields in SAP Business One and map those through to Enterprise. So some of you may have actually seen the detailed video that I've created, which walks you through this. I'm going to just show you very, very quickly how this functionality works. And if you want to go into detail of how you set this up, then please go ahead and search for the user-defined fields and Enterprise. Search for it on Google. My YouTube video will come up. You can go to the Enterprise YouTube channel, or of course my YouTube channel, where I post all those videos, and you can see a detailed 20 to 25 minute explanation of working with user-defined fields. But I'm just going to show you quickly so you know that that's there now and it's available for you to start using. So you simply go into your settings, you go in here into custom fields. Now, you'll recall that in Enterprise, we work with the business transactions and the business records in SAP Business One, and we call them objects. So we have the opportunity object, the sales object, the purchasing object, service, activity, delivery, and partners. All right? So all you need to do is you need to decide which of these objects does the user-defined fields exist in, and do those user-defined fields exist in SAP Business One already? If they don't exist in SAP Business One, obviously you've got two choices. You can create user-defined fields in Enterprise that do not link to SAP Business One. So they're just stored purely in Enterprise. But if you want to link it to a user-defined field in Business One, then obviously the user-defined field has to exist in SAP Business One. So in this particular scenario, if I go here and I look at my business partners, right, you'll see that I already have 3 user-defined fields set up in SAP Business One. And what I've done is I have linked them here into Enterprise. So you simply go in here, you click on add a custom field. Now, important point to note in this functionality, it's impossible to cope with, you know, a completely dynamic scenario. We have these fields that have to be preset in Enterprise and predefined in the user interface, because the UI does not dynamically generate. Okay, so you have to specify one of these user-defined fields. In each object, we give you 20. So 20 user-defined fields. You can either use those in Enterprise on its own, or you can link them to the user-defined fields in SAP Business One. User-defined fields also exist at the header level, all right? So when you're looking at the partners, you're looking at the user-defined fields that are at the business partner level. When you're looking at sales orders or quotes, you're looking at the user-defined fields that exist at the sales order header level. All right, same scenario with service jobs, activities, and so on and so forth. If you're familiar with the Business One structure, you know that in many different screens you have a header, you have details, and then you have a footer. All of the user-defined field functionality we currently support right now is at the header level, because remember, with Enterprise, our focus is simplicity. So I've got 20 available in my business partners. I've already used 3, so I can add another custom field. So what I can do here is when I click on add a custom field, it automatically drops me in here, and then it says, okay, what's your custom field name? So already in my demo of how to set up the user-defined fields, I created 3. I've got a loyalty program, got a loyalty program level, a points value, and a loyalty points date. So what I can do, let's say I've decided, you know what, I actually now want to track who the loyalty manager is. So I can go in here and I can say, well, this field is going to be called loyalty manager. And then I specify my data type. Now remember, if you're linking this to SAP Business One, these data types have to match with SAP Business One. So I go in here and I say it's a string field, And then when I go here to custom fields in SAP, when I click on the drop-down list, it's going to give me a list of all of the user-defined fields in Business One that match this data type that I have not already mapped into Enterprise. So you'll see right now there's no data to display because the 3 user-defined fields that exist in my SAP Business One right now, I've already mapped them. So if I go across here into SAP Business One and I dive in and I'm using HANA here, if I dive in here and I look at my business partners and I look at my business partner master data and I switch on my user-defined fields, you'll see there I actually have those user-defined fields in here. So you'll see I have, and I've done a little bit of work here, you'll see here is my loyalty program level as an example, and so I have the ability to select that field. Now, of course, I can create new user-defined fields and link those, but for now, we're just going to work with the ones that we've got. So if I dive back here, you would then see that user-defined field, if I hadn't already linked it, it would appear here. I could select it. Now, I might have decided, you know what, I'm only going to record this information inside Enterprise. So what I can do, I don't actually choose the custom field in SAP. So I can just hit save now. And what it will do, it will now automatically put that user-defined field on my business partner. So let's dive here into partners. And let's go and we'll look at our customers. And so, for example, now when I'm looking at Earthshaker Corporation, I look at the company details because remember, we start off with a high-level summary and then I get down and look at the detail. Here is my custom fields, and there you can see there is my loyalty manager is now available there in my custom field. Now, if I want to edit this record, of course, I have to click on edit. But now what I'm able to do is I'm able to go in here and I can now type in that I'm the loyalty manager, and then when I hit save, you'll see that the information is automatically being saved. Now, right now, again, it's saved only in Enterprise because it's not linked to SAP Business One, but of course you can go back and you can add that user-defined field into SAP Business One, and then you can link the user-defined field from Enterprise back in to the corresponding record in SAP Business One. All right, so those are the 2 main functional areas that we have added in Enterprise in our June release. Now, you're going to see that there are a bunch of little smaller adjustments and changes. I'm not going to go into all of those in detail because normally what we'll do, if there's something that applies to you as a customer or a partner, we will let you know. But what we'll start doing on a regular basis is actually writing these up for you into a regular monthly post where we'll explain to you what's changed and so on and so forth, because those things are important to you to know exactly what are the new features and functions available in the software. And of course, if it's something significant that requires some setup, we're going to take you through, as we have done with the user-defined fields in that more detailed 20-minute video that I've recorded for you. But of course, for example, those stock levels in inventory, there was nothing that you needed to do. You just go into your Enterprise, that functionality wasn't there yesterday, it's there today. It got switched on overnight. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense and you understand the reason why we do that. And again, that's the power of the cloud. So with that, that brings today's session to a close. We've added those 2 new features. We'll be adding those capabilities to do those inquiries on user-defined fields at the end of the month in your mobile apps. All right, so you'll have read-only access into the mobile apps to those user-defined fields. The write access in the user-defined fields, we expect that that'll probably be the end of the following month. Okay, but right now you've got all that capability in the web app, read-only access in the mobile apps by the end of this month, all things being equal. And of course, the same thing applies with the stock inquiries. You've got that capability right now in the web app, and at the end of this month, you'll actually have that ability to do that stock inquiry inside the mobile apps. And as soon as that's available, you can rest assured that I'll be doing a video that explains to you exactly how to do that and gives you a demonstration. So with that, I'd like to thank you for joining today's session. Remember, any questions, You can send them to support@enterpryze.com. You can send them to me, rduffy@enterpryze.com, or of course you can visit our website at www.enterpryze.com, and you can use the chat functionality down here in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. We'd be more than happy to chat with you online. A couple of other things I do want to make sure you are aware of to keep up to date with what events we have coming up for you as an enterprise customer and partner. You'll find those here under events. So if you go and you click on our events page, you'll see this is where you can see all of the different webinars that we've got. Now we've got them planned out to the end of July as well, but we try not to end up with too many here in the list. So you can see you can go and register for these here just simply by clicking register as you did for today's session. And if you're a partner as well, you'll see under Enterprise Partners, we have a link here which is the partner events and webinars. So again, I would encourage you to keep an eye on that, and you'll see these are the different sessions that we currently have scheduled for you as an enterprise partner. We run them at different times for Asia Pacific and Japan, and then at a different time slot for EMEA. And now what we're trying to do is, again, as we move into new countries and new regions and the time zones don't work out, we'll look at adapting accordingly. But of course, all of these sessions are always recorded and available to you to watch afterwards. So again, with that, thank you very much for coming along. Look forward to talking with you. For those of you that are enterprise partners, we know that you're getting to the end of quarter, and that's an important time, so good luck with your end of quarter. And if any of us at Enterprise can help you, then please feel free to reach out to us. Thanks, and have a great day.